Something big just happened in Baltimore, and it directly involves Zay Flowers. This isn't some small update or just another piece of news. This is a move that can reshape the Ravens' offense and impact the future of this franchise for years to come. And once you really understand what's going on here, it's easy to see why everyone's talking about it right now. But what really stands out isn't just the move itself. It's everything behind it. The money, the timing, and most importantly, what this says about the Ravens' plan with Lamar Jackson moving forward. There's a lot happening at once, and some of these details completely change how you should be looking at this team today. What stands out to me the most here is the level of conviction from Baltimore. There was zero hesitation. The moment they picked up the fifth-year option on Zay Flowers, they were basically saying loud and clear, "We know exactly who this player is for us." And to me, that matters way more than the price tag at this stage. This isn't a gamble, it's not projection, it's recognition. Because if we're being honest, Flowers is already past that "let's see if it works" phase. It already worked. He's become a real piece of this offense. He's shown consistency, and more importantly, he's delivered in big moments. The way I see it, when a player reaches that level this early, you don't mess around with that kind of asset. You secure it. That's exactly what Baltimore did here. And even without a direct quote tied to this decision, the message is obvious. It's almost like the organization is saying, we're not going to create a problem where we already have a solution. A lot of teams in the NFL get this wrong. They start questioning what's already working, try to get too clever, and end up making their roster worse. To me, Baltimore went in the opposite direction. Now there's another layer to this that naturally starts to matter, because when you make a decision this confidently, you're also accepting the cost that comes with it. And that's where the conversation shifts to a completely different level. Now we get to the part that jumps out to everyone on the outside, the money. That $27.3 million number isn't easy to ignore, and I completely get why some people look at it and think it's too much. But to me, the key point is this: that number didn't come out of nowhere. It's a direct result of what Zay Flowers has already done on the field. The 2025 season makes that crystal clear. 211 receiving yards, a franchise record, plus Pro Bowl recognition, that automatically moves a player into a completely different tier in the NFL. We're not talking about potential anymore. We're talking about proven high-end production that shows up week after week. I see a lot of people calling the number excessive, but honestly, this is just how the market works. Receivers who produce like a true WR1 get paid like a WR1. It's that simple. Baltimore didn't inflate anything, they just accepted reality instead of trying to avoid it or chase cheaper, riskier alternatives. And once you look past the number and understand the real impact a player like this has on a competitive offense, it becomes impossible to separate this decision from how the entire unit functions. That naturally leads to a deeper look at his role and the level he's already reached. For me, this is the point that pretty much ends the debate. Zay Flowers is already playing like a legit WR1 in the NFL. This goes way beyond stats. It's about role, responsibility in key moments, and how he forces defenses to adjust every single snap. He's the kind of player who creates separation early, makes the quarterback's job easier, and still produces even when he's getting a heavy target share throughout the game. That's not common, and when you have it, it usually defines how far your offense can go. The way I see it, replacing that kind of impact isn't as simple as plugging in another player. A lot of times it takes two players, scheme adjustments, and even then you still don't get the same result. That increases risk and lowers offensive efficiency. And when you connect that level of importance to the rest of the system, especially the quarterback, this decision stops being about just one player. It becomes about maintaining the foundation of the entire offense. This, to me, is the core of the entire decision. Everything revolves around Lamar Jackson and the need to keep a stable offensive environment during the team's competitive window. Keeping Zay Flowers is a central part of that plan. Right now, Flowers is Lamar's most reliable target in the passing game. He brings something that doesn't always show up in the box score: positive predictability. You know he'll get open. You know he'll be available early in the route. And you know he can handle volume without disappearing in big moments. To me, that's about making life easier for your quarterback at a high level. It's not about reducing Lamar's responsibility. It's about giving him consistent tools so the offense can operate more efficiently over the course of a full season. And when you have that kind of stability, you avoid a very common NFL problem: having to rebuild key positions right in the middle of a championship window. That ties directly into the next major decision Baltimore avoided here. Alright, we're already past the halfway point of this video. But before we keep going, I noticed you haven't hit the like button yet. And that really matters, because it helps YouTube keep showing Ravens content like this to you. So if you enjoy staying updated with the latest Ravens news, analysis, and everything happening around the team, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow, and it's completely free. I appreciate it. One of the biggest things Baltimore got right here, in my opinion, is avoiding a future problem that would have been extremely hard to fix. Keeping Zay Flowers through 2027 means they don't have to reinvent the position while still competing at a high level in the conference. That kind of stability matters more than people realize, because once you lose a player at this level, replacing him is rarely quick or simple. Teams often try to patch it with draft picks, cheaper signings, or scheme tweaks, and end up spending way too much time trying to recreate something they already had working. I've seen this happen across the league, and it usually leads to a drop in offensive production and overall inconsistency. Baltimore avoided that completely by locking in continuity at one of the most important positions in today's game. At the same time, this move gives the front office breathing room to figure out the long-term financial structure, which naturally brings us to the cap implications that come with it. There's no way around it. The financial impact is real. That fully guaranteed $27.3 million hits the cap, and at some point, the Ravens will have to make adjustments elsewhere on the roster to keep everything balanced moving forward. But being completely honest, to me the bigger mistake would have been avoiding this cost now and then paying even more later, trying to replace a player like Zay Flowers. Replacing elite production almost never ends up being cheaper when you factor in all the attempts it takes. There's a common trap in this league where teams talk themselves out of paying proven talent, then spend the next couple of seasons trying, and failing, to recreate that same impact. That usually leads to instability and wasted time. When you combine consistent production, system fit, and quarterback chemistry, it becomes pretty clear why this move, even at a high cost, was basically unavoidable for Baltimore. At the end of the day, to me, this comes down to clarity. The Ravens know exactly who Zay Flowers is within their team, they understand what he brings on the field, and they recognize how much he elevates Lamar Jackson in this system. On top of that, there's still room for growth, which makes this investment even more justified long-term. Baltimore isn't just paying for what he's already done, they're investing in what he can still become within a system that clearly works for him. Sure, the number is going to keep people talking, because big contracts always do. But when you break this decision down, production, role, impact, and continuity, the logic behind it holds up really well. And in today's NFL, the best organizations are the ones that identify their core players early and do what it takes to keep them, even if it means dealing with short-term financial pressure. The Ravens made a move that says a lot more about roster vision than just money. Locking in Zay Flowers wasn't just about keeping a good player. It was about protecting a core piece of an offense built around Lamar Jackson. When you combine production, fit, and real on-field impact, it's clear Baltimore chose stability over risk, and to me, that's what separates truly competitive teams. At the same time, the price sends a clear message. This organization knows exactly what level Flowers has already reached, and had no intention of risking that in the future. This isn't a blind gamble. It's an investment backed by proven performance. When a team gets that evaluation right, it builds a much stronger foundation to keep competing year after year. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think the Ravens made the right call at that price? Or would you have gone a different direction? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this move could shape the future of Baltimore's offense. And if you're a true Ravens fan and love keeping up with everything happening around the team, don't leave this video without sharing it with a friend who's just as passionate. They're definitely going to enjoy this. See those videos on your screen right now? I picked the first one especially for you, and the other is recommended by YouTube. Go check them out and I'll see you in the next video.